All right, week 15. There is nothing that beats watching my Bills put belt to ass against the Patriots. And in the same damn week, on the same day, in the same slate of football games, watching the Empire collapse. Chiefs missed the playoffs. Bills look phenomenal. Does life get better? Does life get better? You're not going to find a happier man on earth today than me. It's JV. It's the JV show. You know the drill. It's the Week 15 Sunday recap with JV. If you love the content, please do me a favor. Go ahead, like, comment, subscribe. It means the world. I'd like to shout out my sponsor for the season, Big Third Down Shop. The link is in my bio to shop their hats. They sent me a plethora of cool NFL fan-branded hats, including this JV show one. They're embroidered. They fit great. They look great. Go check them out. Go get yourself or someone else, a loved one, a friend, an NFL gift for Christmas. It's never too late to get dripped out with Big Third Down Shop. Ladies, gentlemen, we have so much to talk about. So many great games today. I couldn't even fit them all into one episode. That's why I bring you the Monday Nighter. But today, let's focus on the game that matters. We're going Bills 35, Patriots 31. Serving out L's on silver and gold platters, baby. I love it. We go into Foxborough. You know, the Patriots start off hot. Everyone's chatting. Yeah, never a doubt. Never a doubt. I'm absolutely lying. There was absolutely doubts. I start off the game fuming. Steam coming out of my ears. I was about to make a freaking video at halftime and just shut off the game. With the way we opened, with our coaching staff, with our play in the first half. But put your trust in number 17 back there. There's a reason last week I came out on the show and I said Josh Allen is the best quarterback in football. Let me double down this week. Josh Allen is so clearly the best player in the NFL. You need a game? Dial up Josh Allen and he'll deliver. He's clutch. I don't want to hear this BS playoff narrative. Oh, he hasn't performed in the playoffs. Oh, he doesn't have his Super Bowl. Oh, what happens when he plays the Chiefs? Well, for your information, Josh Allen statistically has played like one of the best playoff performing quarterbacks in history against the Chiefs. How many times has he left the field with a lead and he's had to come back on and save their ass time and time again? Sometimes doesn't even get the shot to do that. When you need a game, you call Josh Allen and he delivers. When it gets cold, he gets better. That's when the performance dips for most quarterbacks. Josh Allen shines. 250 yards, 3 touchdowns, 123 passer rating, and a gutsy, ballsy W in the second half in New England when everyone was doubting. There is no stopping Josh Allen. You just game plan to try and limit him, but you can't. You cannot. He'll beat you with his arm. He'll beat you with his legs, his athleticism, playmaking, throw on the run. He does it absolutely all. And FYI, he's throwing to Brandon Cooks. Yeah, the same guy that was playing for the Saints like 3 decades ago. That's who he's throwing jump balls to. He saves jobs weekly in Buffalo. He's the only reason we're a relevant franchise. And he thrives in the Superman role. That's who he is. He wins games for his team by himself. Whether you want to admit it or not, he's the best player in the world right now. There is nobody you would want above Josh Allen on your team right now. Nobody. Not a single soul on this planet do I want starting my franchise over Josh Allen. He checks every single box. Oh, but he's a poor decision maker. Oh, but he throws interceptions. Well, when you are tasked to run the entire offense, throw, run, catch passes, I don't know, whatever they ask him to do, you're going to make mistakes. You're not going to be perfect. So I can live with the 1 to 2 bad decisions weekly if it means Josh Allen will the entire offense to 30-plus points a week. He is very clearly the best player in the league. Very clearly. How many times do you see him roll out last week to Shakir, that ball in the red zone, end zone touchdown. Holy smokes. How can you beat it? Well, what do you do? What do you do to stop Josh Allen? You can't. You know what Mike Vrabel said today? That's why they pay him the bucks. That's why they pay him the cash. Because he beats good defenses all by himself. When in doubt, you hand it to Josh Allen, and I'm telling you, the rest is history. Best player in the world. You know who's not very good, though? You know who Josh Allen covers for every single week? And this really pisses me off. This grinds my gears. Sean McDermott. Sean McDermott is a guru at having Josh Allen save his ass. He's the best at it. He can't get enough of it. He loves it so much. He loves having his ass saved so damn much. He does it weekly. He does it week after week after week. This guy actually makes me sick. Slow starts week after week. At home against the Bengals, we came out flat. Today against the Patriots, we looked like garbage in the first half. Didn't even look like we cared to game plan for the team. It took us a total of 3 quarters and 2 rushing touchdowns from Drake May to put a quarterback spy on him. Why? I have no clue. There was nobody in the middle of the field. Just chunk gain after chunk gain after chunk gain. I get we were missing some crucial pieces to the secondary. We'll talk about that later. But McDermott can't call a game for his life. And then, it's not just that. And then it's the decision making. That's the problem. That's equally an issue here. How do you not throw a challenge flag on the first drive? I'm sitting there, I'm watching the broadcast, and obviously it's a different view for me at home, but it's like, listen, where's your team here? Where's the guys that come down and they're like, hey, Sean, challenge this. Throw the challenge flag. But nope. Nope, we're going to let it slide. We're going to let him drive the field, go throw a touchdown. He's not a good decision maker. He's not a good situational football coach. His teams start slow. His defense always underperforms. What do we have him around for? Honest to God, I don't understand. He is covered, masked, whatever you want to call it, by Josh Allen's greatness. That's what it is. It's not all sunshine and rainbows in Buffalo. Yeah, we've won a few big games these past few weeks, but it's like, hey, what is our weakness right now? Well, one of them is coaching. If I could guarantee you one thing in life, it's that if Josh Allen wasn't the quarterback in Buffalo, that whole coaching staff would be working at Dollarama. I don't see it any other way. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. We rely so heavily on Josh, and he delivers. I mean, the guy's having a kid, dating an actress. She's beautiful. He's out here carrying our team. He's winning MVPs. He's living the life. The guy is the ultimate human being, and we do nothing to support him. And our coaching staff, we clap. Good job, Josh. Keep going. Keep going. How about you coach a defense? How about we get a stop once in a while? That would be nice. Jeez Louise, man. I do appreciate that we brought James Cook in. And we brought him back, and we said, hey, listen, we're going to give you the money. I started the year off, and I said, we're not going to pay him this Saquon Barkley money until we see the production. Until we use him, right? That was my biggest thing. It was always, he's a good running back. The talent is evidently there. But is he going to be useful on third down, or are we planning on using him? Is his snap share going to jump up? Well, right now, James Cook is becoming a top 5 running back in football. And I'm so thankful that we gave him some money so we had another option outside of Josh Allen. I'm thankful we brought him back. And I apologize that I said don't pay James Cook, because the offense should be centered around this run game, which is top 5 in the league right now. I believe they're number 1 in rush yards per game. That's credit to James Cook and the offensive line. And if this is how he's going to produce, I'd be happy to give him whatever he wants. He's averaging over 5 yards per carry, 1,400 yards and double-digit touchdowns on the season. I mean, you can't beat that. You can't. He's been amazing all year long. And when Josh Allen needs a little bit of something beside him, James Cook has, more times than not this year, been the guy. Because, hell, I'll tell you something. I don't even think Josh Allen has a wide receiver 2. Never mind a number 1. Look, I don't even think he has a number 2 option. Shakir, sure, bottom end, number 2. With all due respect to the guys we got, what are we doing? What are we doing? We can't go out and get an alpha? I don't know. I'm happy that James Cook has had the year he's had under us and that he's running the rock this efficiently with that offensive line. We look powerful right now. So, with all that being said, I'm going through social media today after the game, pumped up. Go Bills, let's go, huge W. And then I see the fans chirping in the comments saying, Buffalo doesn't have any excuses now. Cut that shit out. Just because Mahomes, Burrow, Lamar might miss the playoffs, all of a sudden, Josh Allen doesn't have an excuse? How about the Texans, Broncos, and Patriots defenses that you have to face in the playoffs? Elite units. For some reason, people think quarterbacks play one another. So when Burrow's in the playoffs, it's a lot harder to play the Bengals than it is to play a stellar Broncos defense and Bo Nix, who is slinging the rock right now. I don't understand that. What does it matter? We're playing the best of the best. They're already setting up the stage for if the Buffalo Bills fall short in the playoffs, Josh Allen is a failure. He can't convert in the playoffs. He can't win big games. People have such a fixed mindset. It's it's not so black and white. You can't think of it as win-loss. Top 4 quarterbacks are out. You have no excuses. My excuse for the Bills, terrible coaching, mediocre defense, no weapons. Is that not valid? And I'm not saying that I'm going to come out here and make every single one of these excuses when we lose. Because if we lose, and there's a reason to blame Josh Allen, I'll come out and do it. If he throws 3 interceptions in the game, I'll be the first person on the show, on the internet, to say that's on Josh Allen. But up to this point, that has not happened. But people want to make it seem like Josh Allen hasn't been able to do it. It's like, this is a team thing. It is a team accomplishment to go the distance. But we have separated the Bills from Josh Allen. Who cares about the Bills? It's about Josh Allen getting over the hump. For Josh Allen to win in the playoffs, it requires the entire team. And that's my excuse. I don't give a shit if you think that's petty. I don't care if you think that's weak. It is what it is. The Patriots, on the other hand, today, listen, today, to me, was proof that both the Bills and the Patriots can succeed. This was a playoff environment. This was a playoff caliber game. This was 2 heavy hitters going back and forth. You start first half, Patriots blowing things up, going crazy, touchdown, touchdown, touchdown. Second half, Bills show up, touchdown, touchdown, touchdown. I think they had 5 to 6 straight scoring drives, which was awesome. Today we learned about Drake May, that he has this passion and willingness to fight, and that he will be around for a very long time. Drake May has the keys to the franchise. He is the guy. At year 2, he should not look this good. It should concern the entire league that at this point, only a year and a half into the NFL, he looks like an NFL veteran. He's sneaky athletic. He got in the end zone multiple times with his legs today. He's a serious threat on the ground. His arm talent is just next level, NFL veteran-esque. And you got him out there lead blocking 60 yards downfield for Travion Henderson on a touchdown. He sprinted the entire length of the field just to toss a finishing block on a Buffalo Bills defender for his team to get in the end zone. He's got passion. He's got heart. He wears that Patriots logo on his chest, and he believes in it. And he cares about the fan base. And he has the skill set to go for 2 decades as the face of this franchise. He's not reliant on his athleticism. He's one of the best passers in the league, but he's also got that sneaky sidestep that he can toss in there, and he can pick up 15, 20-yard chunk gains with his legs. People are so fascinated with this no 300-yard game on the season passing. Who cares? Since when was 300 yards this benchmark for quarterback success? People like to make up these random arguments based on stats that are somewhat relevant, I guess, but they're really not. Who cares? You've won 11 games this year with the guy. He's played phenomenal football. He's going to be in the MVP conversation, but you're worried that he hasn't thrown 300 yards in a game. Man, people are focused on the wrong stuff. I'll tell you that much. Travion Henderson, I mean, he's going to be a star in this offense too. He just tore the roof off. He gave my Buffalo Bills a huge problem today. He did. I mean, like I said, we were missing a few key defensive players, but we have struggled against the run all year long. And when I saw Travion Henderson get that ball multiple times, he probably averaged above 10 yards per carry today. He just took off, speed of light. I mean, to watch us drive the field, score, and how deflating it feels to watch Travion Henderson in one play just match us. 70-yard rushing touchdown to the house, to the crib. Again, earlier in the game, he did the same thing. Similar big run touchdown. He's a beast. His speed, the explosiveness, burst through the hole and just say, see you later. It's unmatched. It really is. He's forming himself into a legit star. Like, he could be a top 12, top 10 running back in a few years with the way he's going. And Ramondre back there is still solid, but now you got this explosive guy, this game changer at running back. The Pats haven't really had that in a long time. The running backs are always decent, but it's never like superstar level, like Barkley or Bijan. I don't know if Henderson's going to get there, but he definitely has the skill set to be a game changer, like a game breaker, and just tear things open. And for the majority of the game today, he did. He gave us hella problems today. Our run game is just abysmal. Our run defense is just horrendous. We got to clean that up. We're going to have to make some changes going into the playoffs. When it gets colder outside, especially if you anticipate playing home games or if you're playing in colder climates, guys, they're going to run the ball against us. They are, and we're going to need to step up, right? Like, not every team has a quarterback that can go out there and sling it like Josh and take over games in the cold. They'll lean on their run game, and that is our weakness on our defense right now. I don't think our secondary is very good either, but the run defense is, I would say, significantly worse, which is a red flag. But anyways, I digress. We're talking Patriots now. The Patriots have the team to win the Super Bowl, in my opinion. I've watched them all year. People have said they've had a light schedule, haven't played any real teams. Now they play the Bills for a second time. They beat us the first time. We got them in Foxborough this time. We tie the season series 1-1. I'm assuming they still win the division. Not sure if they're looking at a bye now with the Broncos probably winning out for the rest of the season. I thought they looked just great today against the Packers. We'll talk about that later. But like I said, the Patriots have the team to go to the Super Bowl. They do. They check a lot of boxes. They can beat any team in the league. The offense with Drake May is highly explosive. Like I said, the emergence of Henderson is huge, plus Ramondre in the backfield. They don't have elite receivers, but they have a bunch of good options. Mac Hollins, phenomenal. He's a really sneaky but great receiver they have in their toolbox. Stephon Diggs, always great. Hunter Henry, they got some tight ends that have been balling. And then it's the defense, right? The defense is a high-class unit as well. They were missing Spillane and Milton Williams, which is why James Cook had so much success. But when they're back and healthy, they're a tough go for anybody. And they went toe-to-toe with Buffalo twice, won one of those games. They're clearly suited to play in the cold, to play in a playoff atmosphere. I would be worried about facing this team. If anything came out of this game, it's that both the Bills and the Patriots have the quarterbacks to go the distance. And I think the Patriots have the team. The Bills, I mean, it's yet to be seen if we have the team. We definitely have the quarterback, but we've played some good football these past few weeks. That's all I'll say. I don't want to jinx anything. I can be reasonable as a fan here. But yes, it was a heavy-hitting playoff atmosphere game today. All right, let's go. Chargers 16, Chiefs 13. The Chiefs are missing the playoffs, and I couldn't be happier. Send them straight to Cancun, baby. This is going to be a wake-up call for Veach and the front office that Mahomes has clearly not been the same quarterback for years now, and they're going to have to give him more. Kelsey's going to be gone. He's regressed. His career's over. The defense is still a great unit, but the offense has had problems for years, and they've just gotten by for a few years now. But now it feels like a pressing issue to address. Now you need to go out and get a true number one. Every empire falls, like I said. But a fall off this quickly, from Super Bowl to missing the playoffs, with one of the greatest quarterbacks and head coaches the league has ever seen, I mean, it just doesn't make a whole lot of sense. It doesn't add up. Something's been missed here. And I thought when Rashee Rice came back, you had Worthy, you had Hollywood Brown, Kelsey, despite his age, you had your guys. You could put something together here. No, you're missing the playoffs. Now Mahomes has torn his ACL, unfortunately out for the season. That's terrible news. Again, praying for a healthy recovery for him. I don't know how that impacts next season. I'm assuming he's good to go, but those ACLs, they can take a while, right? It differs person to person, obviously, but maybe it dips into a little portion of next year. I have no clue. I'm not a doctor. I don't know. But at this point, you're kind of looking at things and saying, all right, we need to make a change. Something's not working. It feels like to me they've played just a crap ton of great teams this year. You know, I feel like every week I'm watching it, and it's just like another great team and another great team. You got the Lions. Then you're playing the Jags. Then you're playing the Chargers twice. Then you got the Broncos twice. Then you got the Colts. I mean, some of these teams, yeah, like they're good. Maybe not excellent, but they're good. But rarely am I seeing them play like bottom-feeding teams where they can just kind of take over. They play the Raiders twice, and that's about it. That's all I've seen this year. So it definitely is a challenge week after week to go into these big games and compete and actually win. But the difference between this year and last year, like I've said over and over, is just the ability to close out. They're not good in the clutch. Mahomes throws a game-losing interception today. You know, the game was there. Gave it up in the red zone. Tears his ACL, unfortunately. And it's over. It's over. It's honestly one of the most remarkable storylines from the season. I'd be willing to say it's the biggest storyline of the year. For the Chiefs, with Mahomes being at the level that he's at, with Reed being a first ballot Hall of Fame coach, you just didn't expect this. And you got to imagine there are going to be some riots in KC, and you're going to hear it from the fans, as you should. You should never miss the playoffs with that quarterback and head coach duo. I'll say it. You should never. Mahomes is going to need a real weapon for this to work again. Like I said, game-sealing interception, torn ACL. You're going to need to give him something next year. He's clearly not himself. Chiefs fans started blaming Andy Reid this year. I don't get it. I didn't hear the blame until they started losing and they needed to deflect somewhere. Andy Reid's fine. He's taken you to 7 or 8 straight conference championships. He can relax for a little bit. He can relax. You've won how many Super Bowls with him and Mahomes? He can chill out. Personally, I don't think Mahomes has had a top 5 season in years. Years. Now, I've always respected him and put him at number 1 on my quarterbacks list going into seasons because I know who he really is. And you have to take context into things and supporting cast and all of that jazz. But individually, like when you look at individual seasons, he hasn't had a top 5 season in years. He hasn't been the same quarterback. When you go back and watch the early stages of his career, that offense was highly explosive. Every second play, they were scoring touchdowns, driving the field, connecting on deep bombs. Granted, they had Tyreek Hill, and the year after he left, it was fine, but ever since, they have tapered off. And now the offense is boring, it's vanilla, and there's nothing to be excited about. I watch and I see the same product weekly from them, and it's not a good product. So the consistency there isn't very nice. They're going to have to make some changes. Spags is always going to do his thing with the defense. Always going to be a good unit now with him. But what can you do on offense to supplement Mahomes with a better run game? With maybe a true alpha, a guy that you can target downfield. Because right now you're missing somebody like Tyreek Hill in his prime who would just take the roof off and shoot out a peace sign and it was all over. So that's the one thing I've noticed about that offense. The other side of the ball, Chargers, I mean, listen, shout out Jim Harbaugh. Shout out this defense. For them to be winning games with the offensive line being in the condition that it is, it's pretty remarkable. Like, I don't think this team is overly talented. I don't think they have superstars, but they make things work. And I think today it puts them at 10 wins, I want to say, on the season. Like, that's pretty good work from Jim Harbaugh. Like good on him. And the one guy, obviously, at the helm, dominating, Justin Herbert. Broken hand, 0 protection. It doesn't matter. Justin Herbert has a dog in him. He's got a dog. You can't teach guts like that. You can't teach passion. You can't teach pride like that. It just comes naturally. You got to want it. And Justin Herbert wants it. It's a disgrace if he goes his full career in LA and never wins anything. It would be a disgrace. He is so talented. He possesses so much skill and ability. And there is just this feeling I got that it's going to be one of those situations, one of those Rivers, one of those Matt Ryan situations where I don't even know if he gets to a Super Bowl, but he just never gets what he really deserves. Like, genuinely, I mapped it out here because I was thinking about all the elite quarterbacks that obviously I would deem to be elite in the league. It's one of the worst situations an elite quarterback has dealt with in the league. With no offensive line, with decent weapons. They're not wowing. They don't jump out at you by any means. Just average weapons. The defense has been phenomenal this year, especially late in the season. They've been really good. But again, like, he just gets knocked down every single week. The offensive line is just incompetent. He's got no protection, but he constantly makes things happen. He's constantly showing these flashes of greatness. Pure arm talent alone, he's in the top 5 conversation in the NFL. And he checks the playmaking box. There's literally nothing you can change about Herbert besides his landing spot, besides his destination. He had surgery and then back-to-back wins against good teams. It's impressive. It's impressive when you think about it. He gets surgery on his hand. He goes and plays the Eagles, win. Chiefs, win. Only a few quarterbacks are surviving behind this offensive line, and Herbert is one of them. If he had a real team, he can make an argument for MVP this year. But people don't want to hear that. People don't want to entertain that discussion because it's wild. He doesn't have the stats. It's like, imagine having this much time. You're done. He's sacked. Within half a second, the guy's just being blown up. He deserves a lot more respect than he gets every single year, honestly. Let's go Philly. Philly, yes. Yes, they get a much-needed win. Philadelphia Eagles 31, Raiders 0. They post a donut. Here come all the Philly fans. Oh, man. I did not miss this. I did not miss this. The Philly fans, we're back. It's Las Vegas, okay? I know it's an NFL team. I know 31 points and holding a team scoreless. Any NFL team is impressive, but, come on. Come on. I wasn't celebrating out here when the Bills beat the friggin' Jets. Let's be realistic. This is a game you expect to win. Let's be professional here. But, Philly's lost 3 in a row. They needed this. This was a big game. And the one thing I'd like to point out about today, because I wouldn't describe myself as a Jalen Hurts hater. I wouldn't describe myself as a fanboy either. I feel like I sit in the middle. I think he's a very good quarterback. But I also am not blind to his weaknesses. I feel like that's how you should be with every quarterback. Even Josh Allen. I realize he has his weaknesses. The one thing about today, I've told you all year, Jalen Hurts doesn't have an elite football arm. That's fine. Just doesn't have it. People don't like that statement. People want to disagree. That's fine. What was ironic about today in that statement? Well, let me tell you. Jalen Hurts looks way better when he doesn't throw the ball. Isn't it isn't it ironic? Isn't it ironic? I told you, when he throws the ball 30-plus times a game, they lose. And he can't handle it. 15 pass attempts, and he has one of the best days of his season against the Raiders. It is not a coincidence. Jalen Hurts is great when he's not dealing with the responsibility to pass the ball. That's all it is. We don't have to sugarcoat it. We don't have to bring in all these weird excuses and all these reasons that are irrelevant. We've seen it on tape. He's just not an elite passer of the football. But when he's asked to throw the ball 15 to 20 times, he can limit his mistakes. He can throw the balls that he really wants to, and he'll have success. Watch what he did today. He threw the deep ball to Smitty. He kept the ball safe, used his legs, and he looked like a great quarterback. He is a guy you can count on for a great performance, not for this season-long consistency of his arm. That's just who he is. You got to play to your quarterback's strengths. But I will say, it's hilarious how Philly fans were ready to start Tanner McKee over Jalen Hurts. It's like, hold on. You just won a Super Bowl. The guy's brought you to how many straight playoff appearances, but the second he's on a bad stretch, you're ready to hang it up? Come on. Let's be serious here. Everybody in Philly was on board until you started losing. Lose 3 games in a row, you're ready to blow the whole operation up. I'm not putting my full trust and faith in this roster, but, give the guy a little bit of grace. I know he's not. I know he hasn't performed like a top 5, top 10 quarterback this back half of the season, but there were people out there saying Jalen Hurts isn't even top 25. It's all right, that's a little bit disrespectful. That's just a little bit disrespectful. It's disrespectful for when a quarterback has a bad stretch, you go out there and say, yeah, these rookie quarterbacks are better. It's come on. Let's have a little respect here. He did win the Super Bowl. He did lead a good team, but he did lead a team to the Super Bowl and win. So hate to play both sides here. Might kind of seem weird which side I'm on, but I think I've stated myself pretty clearly. Jalen Hurts is a good quarterback, just doesn't have an elite arm. But he has these intangibles. He's a good athlete. And I think he's a moments guy. I think he shows up in big moments and he performs. Just can't count on him like you can Josh Allen. That's it. And screw the Philly fans that said Josh Allen was worse if they take Jalen Hurts. No, you wouldn't. No, you wouldn't. Saquon Barkley, I watched the game today. They had a little bit more success running the rock, but I think at the end of the day, the key takeaway from this offense is that Saquon Barkley needs to be the engine for this team to succeed. Saquon Barkley needs to be this offense if they want to win games. Whether it's the offensive line or Saquon Barkley, this needs to be tightened up for the playoffs. Because I feel like they ran the ball better today, but he's still averaging 3 to 3.5 yards per carry. You can't be arguably the MVP last year, the Madden cover athlete, get paid and have this significant of a drop-off in performance. You have to figure something out. The games will get colder in January. You're going to play outside. You're going to play in poor conditions. Your quarterback can't be trusted with a high passing volume. You need to be the guy they turn to win games in the playoffs. Last year against the Rams, they gave it to you, you housed it, essentially sealed the game. That needs to be Saquon Barkley moving forward. Philly won't win a damn thing if Saquon Barkley can't run the rock. If they go into the wild card and they're like, Jalen, we need you to do it for us, do your prayers and just say good luck. Good luck. It ain't happening. It ain't happening. Barkley needs to be the guy that you can turn to. On the other side of the ball, the other running back in the game, Ashton Genty for the Raiders, I just feel so terrible for this guy. Like seriously, you talk about a guy that was up to win the Heisman last year, that had a historic rushing season, had one of the best rushing seasons we've seen from a running back in college football history. He was a dog, highly looked at prospect, a guy that most people thought would step in and immediately make an impact. This has nothing to do with Genty and the player he is or the player he could be in this league. Ashton Genty got drafted into a steaming pile of crap, and you can't do anything about it. One of the worst draft picks and immediate wastes of talent I've seen in a long time. And it has nothing to do with Ashton Genty. Talk about going from the biggest spotlight in college to straight darkness in Vegas. I wouldn't even care to go to the casino. The guy just gets swallowed behind the offensive line every single play. There's no point in running the rock because the Raiders are always in a 30-point deficit. The guy's talent is going to go to waste. Ashton Genty is going to have his career depreciated in Vegas. Like he's done. By the time this franchise turns itself around, who knows how long it's going to be? You need a quarterback. You need an offensive line. You need a defense. You need receivers. Running back wasn't the pick. I don't know what to tell you. His career is going to get completely derailed because the franchise bought into a name and not their biggest need. And they thought Geno was the answer. And I had Raiders fans texting me to start the season saying I overlooked them. I was unsure about some things. I was pretty certain about the Raiders. Shout out Pete Carroll for coming back, but it's a whole rebuild. Boot everyone out and bring new personnel in. Chip Kelly, what a disaster that was. And it just gets worse and worse every week. I wouldn't even bother watching the games if I were a Raiders fan, to be honest with you. Let's move over here to Bears 31, Browns 3. Two quarterbacks I am so excited to talk about today on the show. Two guys that I feel like I've talked about lots. I have a lot of content on Shedeur and Caleb Williams. And today, some cool, interesting, unique storylines coming out of the game. Caleb had himself a day. Shedeur, not so much. We'll talk Browns right away, but to kick things off with the Bears, Caleb Williams is about to take the league by storm. He is. If you don't believe it, you got to turn on the tape. Caleb Williams is going to take over the league. He's that good. He is uniquely talented against the premier defense. He said, fine, I'll show you that I'm that much better, and did everything and more today. You're worried about the easy throws? He completed on-time precision routes. The timing passes all day there today. It was awesome. Straight playmaking outside the pocket. He's got this video game-like ability to make throws on the move. Touchdown to DJ Moore. Ice in his veins. Too cold celebration. You can't beat it. He has the skill set to go very far in the NFL. The whole league is screwed when that talent everybody talks about translates into gameplay, translates into consistent gameplay from Caleb Williams. The Iceman celebration, he's got ice in his veins. What does Ben Johnson say? What did I say? Good, better, best. Good, better, best. That's who Caleb's been all year. The growth under Ben Johnson has been amazing. He's been really fun to watch. And ever since entering the league, he's had this unique ability to extend plays and make guys miss. And now they're tying it all together, him and Ben Johnson. Let's search up his stats for today, because he just went off. Yep, 250 yards, 2 touchdowns passing, 112 passer rating. There were times where the ball was exactly where it needed to be, and there were drops. Monangai had one, Kmet had one. But for the majority of the time, he was on today. He had a great day. And I hope people start to realize that he's going to be a problem in the league. He now has proper guidance under Ben Johnson. He now has a head coach that will stay there, who has developed a picture-perfect plan of how to succeed as a quarterback in the league. I think once Caleb starts following in the footsteps of Jared Goff a little bit as a pocket passer and learns a little bit from him in that game to apply it so he can be just a little bit more comfortable. The offensive line, the investments they've made this year have been awesome. So it gives him a little bit more time in the pocket. If he can just master that with the playmaking ability, with the throw on the run, we're cooked. It's going to get dangerous. The other thing about Chicago, and this is really where I think the success stems from for Caleb. I mean, he had a good rookie year. He put up some nice stats. Unfortunately, the coaching staff was bad. It just didn't pan out for them after they lost to the Commanders on that Hail Mary. Caleb was fine last year. He actually had a decent year. And this year he's been really good. But there's been one reason, one specific attribute to this offense that has been significantly improved from last year to this year, and that's the run game. Chicago's got the best run game in the league. Second in rush yards per game this season. Monangai and Swift seems like an unstoppable duo. They open up the offense completely. The big boys up front, moving bodies. Talk about displacement of D linemen. That's what they've done all year long. They're opening up huge gaps for both running backs to hit hard. And it's strictly hard-nosed football. Every single game. Especially his back half of the year. They went out, invested in the offensive line. Ben Johnson made it a priority to fix the offensive line. And now we're seeing exactly why. And the creativity is worked into the run game with different extensions that keep the defenses honest. And there's just a different level of hunger in this backfield. The friendly competition between Swift and Monangai seems to make both running backs that much better. I watched Swift peel a corner today. He looks faster. quicker, more intensity when he runs. There were people who thought DeAndre Swift was a bottom 10 running back in the league. This year, he's looked far from that. He's looked really good. And Monangai, what a draft pick he's been. Just stellar. Diamond in the rough. Those two, I think Caleb is a very crucial part to the offense, but I would say those two run it. I would say Monangai and Swift have the keys to the offense right now. They're in the driver's seat. And Caleb's learning how to drive beside them, I would say. He's getting there. He certainly has the potential to take things over. And that's not a diss on Caleb. That's just praise for the run game that Ben Johnson has established in Chicago. I think watching them play the Packers last week and this week just destroying the Browns, a game that you're better than the opposition and you prove it. I mean, my main takeaway is that they're a real threat. The Bears are a real threat. They check the right playoff boxes. Like, it is what it is. What do you need in the playoffs? Good defense? Check. Most turnovers in the league, averaging over 2 per game. Great run game? Check. Monangai and Swift. Quarterback that can effectively take over games and has the talent to do it all by himself? Check. Caleb Williams can do that. They've got a plethora of options to turn to when things go south. Luther Burden. I saw this nice hezzy sidestep from him today. That was awesome. Komet and Loveland, they've looked phenomenal all year long. DJ Moore caught a sweet touchdown pass today from Caleb Williams. Roma Dunze when he's healthy. They have guys to turn to. And they've got great coaching and an offensive mind that has played in a playoff situation and succeeded. They've got it all. They can go the distance with the team that they have. Like, they played the Packers close. They beat the Eagles. They've proven they can hang with the best of the best. And now I feel like they got the division on lock. Because we'll talk about the Packers in a little bit here, but it doesn't look too promising, unfortunately, with the injuries that they sustained today. The Browns, listen, Shedeur Sanders, this was never going to be a year where the Browns did anything. So whatever I see, you have to take it and take into account the fact that this team was not meant to do anything this year. And they're not going to do anything this year. They had a great draft class. You were uncertain about the quarterback situation going into the year, but you knew the defense was going to be elite. And you had a Pro Bowl receiver, Jerry Jeudy, who hasn't looked good at all this year. Flacco leaves. Gabriel injured, doesn't look great. Shedeur comes in. He plays great. Played a great first few games as a starter. Today, not so much. And I supported Shedeur. I thought he played great. I shouted him out. But when he plays bad, when he plays poorly, we're not going to sit here and make all these excuses. We're going to say it as it is. Shedeur finally played a real defense. And the haters are going to feast. They will attack Shedeur like mosquitoes, and they will not stop. But I please request that anybody that talks about the game and didn't watch it, just stop. Don't speak about the game unless you didn't watch it. Shedeur fell apart. 3 interceptions. That's inexcusable. But not many rookies are doing anything behind that offensive line, if we're being honest. Put Jackson Dart back there, put Cam Ward back there, Tyler Shuck back there, Gabriel back there. It doesn't matter. He has no protection. They need to draft the entire offensive line and receivers for a proper evaluation of Shedeur. He made multiple big plays today. Shedeur found Isaiah Bond down the field with beautiful passes multiple times today. But he also had 3 interceptions, and 2 of them you can't make excuses for. It's just straight up bad football by Shadur Sanders. Now, this guy is going to catch so much heat like you've never even imagined. It's warranted after that performance, but let's not act like this team just lost their playoff chances because Shadur sold the bag. This is his third NFL start. Give it some time. He's looked better than a lot of rookies in their first few starts in the NFL. So, yes, today was a really bad game. It was not good. He played a good defense. They forced turnovers. But did he get unlucky at points too? Was it all on him? No. Did Jerry Jeudy drop a pass right in his hands in the red zone that turned into an interception? Yes. Was one of the interceptions just deflected off your receiver who couldn't catch the ball for his life? Landed in the DB's arms? Yes. Got to take context into things. It's not as simple as just reading the stat sheet and saying Shadur had a bad day. He did. He wasn't good. But as a rookie, let's give him some grace here. If that was Josh Allen, okay, sure. 3 interceptions, bad day, write it off. It's on him. But, he's doing what he can. And I think he's shown some improvements. And he's shown us a legit reason to keep him around. He hasn't been a complete, pile of trash, I would say. He's been good. This is a good defense, a playoff team. The outcome unfortunate, but they have a lot of building to do. Don't get after Shadur if you don't watch the games and you don't understand the situation. Seahawks 18, Colts 16. I think the whole world was rooting for Phillip Rivers today. Not because I don't like the Seahawks, not because anybody has anything against Seattle, but what a story. 44-year-old Phillip Rivers comes back. I mean, I thought it was going to be elderly abuse. It really wasn't, but it could have been for sure. It's tough. Hasn't played in the league for 5 years. You're coaching high school football. I'd imagine the workouts have gotten a little bit easier. I can definitely tell. I don't blame him. I'd probably do the same thing at that age. But you can tell it's a little piece of cake at night wouldn't hurt me. It's a little treat. I deserve it. I played how many years in the league? Decade and a half. I deserve this, It was awesome to see him come back. And I wish he could have completed the story with a W against Seattle. But what I'll say about his game, Phillip Rivers did everything he could. 44 years old. The guy practically is an elder. He shows up, and the accuracy is still there. Sure, some heat was left off the ball, but he did his job and scored a touchdown against the top 3 defense in the NFL. I'd score his game a B to a B plus considering his age. 18 of 27, 120 yards, a touchdown, and an interception that was forced at the end of the game. Yes, the footwork, the pocket movement, it's brutal, but he also hasn't played in 5 years. He's probably 30 or 40 more pounds than he was when he played, and he's 44 years old. The Colts brought him in to do one job, win the game, and he gave him the opportunity to do so. When they needed a stop, when they needed a special teams play, they didn't get it. That's not on Rivers. What do you want the guy to do? And what I loved most, my favorite part about the day, was the post-game presser. I think every young kid, and even myself, I was inspired. It was more about Rivers conquering his fear. It was more about showing people that you can. At 44 years old, with zero athleticism, with years of just chilling out, no football, he comes back and within a week scores a touchdown, plays a pretty clean game, and almost wins against a playoff team. I'm pretty confident Rivers could win games against, 25 teams in the NFL. There are some teams that when you stack them up against Rivers, like, if Houston played them, I don't know. Like, the D-line's good. If the Rams played them, I don't know. I think the defense is too solid and Stafford would just kill them. But games like this, Seahawks, the Rams will be interesting the 49ers will be interesting next week to see. I think it's inspiring. He's been an inspiration. Coming back to football at his age to execute and actually play pretty solid. I thought it was a good game from Phillip Rivers. The Seahawks ultimately come away with the W, but what I've said all year about this team is that they're concerning in the sense that the defense is great. I love their defense. I love what Mike McDonald has done. With that being said, the truth is that the offense is unreliable. And that's not me saying that they haven't put up good numbers this year. They haven't had dominant wins. But what I will say is that I can't trust Seattle's offense. They have one superstar, and that's it. It's JSN. And if it's not JSN, it's bust. I have not seen Sam Darnold at a high level in a big moment perform like an elite quarterback. Every time I see him in a big game, he always falls apart. And to me, that's not a coincidence anymore. I hope he proves me wrong. But games like today and the Falcons in the first half when he started slow makes me very concerned about this team. It's why nobody looks at Seattle as a true playoff contender, because you have no clue what to expect out of Sam Darnold. Now, you go get Rashid Shaheed, and he's an awesome option for you, but it doesn't matter if Sam Darnold throws 3 interceptions in a game. For the first half, it looked like Phillip Rivers straight up outperformed Sam Darnold. And if they lost this game, a lot of Seahawks fans would be a lot more concerned. And I'm sure they are. I'm sure they're kind of biting their nails after today saying, geez, like, yeah, we're good. Yeah, our record is good. But what happens when we play the Rams? Well, the last time Sam Darnold lost you the game, threw 4 interceptions. Inexcusable interceptions, too. So, I think, yeah, like, I just don't know if I can trust them. I trust Stafford a lot more. I honestly trust Jalen Hurts a lot more in the playoffs because I've seen it. I have something to go off. The only memory I have of Sam Darnold in big games is last year against Detroit in the regular season when he collapsed, then the Rams in the postseason where he collapsed, then this year against the Bucs where he threw a game-losing interception, and then again against the Rams when he had 4 interceptions in a game. When I see a big game performance on a big stage, and he does it, I'll change my mind. But up to this point, he's just been a really good, efficient regular season quarterback. Last game I want to talk about, Broncos 34, Packers 26. Big game. Unfortunately, the Packers, who have looked so good, suffered so many crucial injuries. I think they lost like 5 starters today. Most notably, Christian Watson and Micah Parsons with a torn ACL. Just not a good day for injuries. Mahomes, Micah, you never want to see it, especially from elite players. We'll talk about where I feel like the Packers sit now with all their injuries, but just to talk about the Broncos real quick. I kind of questioned Bo Nix as a franchise guy a few weeks ago. Not saying that he wouldn't be a franchise guy, but I just don't know. You know, I've never known about him. I've watched a decent amount of him play football, and last year there were points he looked phenomenal, and other points where you were like, things could probably be better. You started off the season pretty slow with Bo Nix. Didn't look too good, but now it feels like he's picking things up. He's understanding. He's getting a feel for the offense. He's hitting his full stride as the season ends and as the postseason starts. And today, Bo Nix just got the keys to the franchise. Best game of his career. 300 yards, 4 touchdowns, 134 pass rating against an elite defense. It was a great day. Like, he played a pretty flawless game of football. Easily his best game of the year. Maybe the best game I've seen from a quarterback all season long. Methodical drives, passes on the money, lethal throwing down the sidelines, pinpoint accuracy in the red zone. He's playing his best football when it actually matters. It's not about how you start. It's all about how you finish in the league. And Bo Nix will win a Super Bowl if he continues to play like that with this defense playing at that high of a level. Extending plays. He looked like Josh Allen at points today. I thought he did everything and more. He threw a few nice passes to Courtland Sutton that I was in awe. Like, my jaw just hit the floor. I was like, wow. Like, he can do that. He can. He has the ability. He's shown it time and time again. Like, hey, I can do it. Maybe he's not super consistent, but there are a few passes that I can kind of bring back from the very back of my memory and be like, you know what? I saw Bo Nix do that. Last year, the one that stands out to me, Cleveland Browns, snow game. I want to say it was Thursday Night Football. Across the middle, I think it was Mims. Just a dart of a throw. And when I saw that, I was like, you know, Bo Nix could be the guy. Definitely. Brought him to the playoffs. And again this year, they clinched the playoffs today. Bo Nix clinched the playoffs for the Broncos. They've won 12 games this season. He won them 11 games, made the playoffs in back-to-back years. Like think about his career already. In his first 2 seasons, never had a year below 11 wins. Made the playoffs in both of his seasons. And they're leading the AFC right now. And his stats on the season, you know what? I might as well just search him up. Because today we know he had a great day. Statistically and just the eye test too, passing that. 3,300 yards, 23 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. Not sure if that factors in the game today, because that was pretty recent as I'm recording this episode right after the game. But he's had a good year, especially this back half of the season. Like, he's looked good. He's had that fourth quarter ability to come up big and win games for his team. And now that he's putting together full performances, it gets scary. It does. And I'm willing to say, from what I've seen, like, for some reason, he's got a lot of haters. I don't think people understand what he can do, but he is Sean Payton's guy. Bo Nix is the guy for Payton. He's going to stick with him. I think both of them are going to last a long time here in Denver until Payton wants to hang it up, I think. And with the way the defense looks, like I said, Denver's ready to go win a Super Bowl. If the offense can play like that every week, if Courtland Sutton can have big games, if Mims, if Troy Franklin can be the true elite number 2, not elite in the sense of receivers as a whole, but if he can be an elite number 2 option, they're good. Evan Ingram, RJ Harvey, they have playmakers. They have a good offensive line. This team has been held back by offensive production all year. But the second the offense clicks, which it's started to click at this point, when things actually matter, who's going to stop them? Patrick Surtain, you see that interception today? Unfortunately, Watson injured on it. We'll talk about that right away. Dog, Hufanga earlier in the game, he blew up this screen pass. Unbelievable. Took 2 guys down. Celebration. You know, like, I was very impressed with their performance today. A lot of people question the Broncos. They can't beat legit teams. They're a fraudulent team. They're not going to win games in the playoffs. Well, they've beat pretty much every team I care about, besides the Rams this year, and I don't think they've played. This team could very well be undefeated, with their 2 losses being, Colts early on with that leverage penalty, and then the Chargers early on in the season. they've been pretty much flawless ever since. And now that the offense is rolling, be careful what you do. I wouldn't want to see Denver. They're going to be a tough go. The Packers, on the other hand, season's over for the Packers. Too many injuries now. I mean, today in the first half, I was ready to say, like, Jordan Love, with the way he looked, it was like, geez, could he be in, like, this MVP conversation? Because it's not a heavy MVP year by any means. But then the second half, it was just like a collapse. And that's not all to do with Jordan Love. Like, they opened up, got a touchdown, and it's tough. Like, it's a tough league, man. You're playing a good Denver Broncos defense, and turnovers will happen. And you're going to have tough quarters, tough halves, tough games of football. It was a game where both teams looked good, in my opinion, and one team had to pull away, and that's just what it is. Sometimes it's as simple as that. You don't have to nitpick and say, oh, well, Jordan Love on this specific play lost them the game. Well, mistakes happen. You know, you're going to play some good football, some bad football. Denver ended up being the team when it mattered most today. They came up big, and they could complete and finish drives. That's it. Firing Matt LaFleur would be idiotic. A lot of Packers fans are calling for his job, which is stupid. They get pissed at Matt LaFleur because he's too conservative with his play calling. Then he dials up a bomb to Christian Watson when they're up to hit the dagger. Jordan Love throws an interception to Patrick Surtain, who makes a phenomenal play, and now Matt LaFleur's the problem because he didn't run the ball with Josh Jacobs, who's having a great day. You can never win with fan bases that want their head coach fired. I promise you, today and for the majority of the year, it hasn't been a Matt LaFleur issue. They've had a successful season. The offense has looked really good at moments. Every play caller, every head coach will have their weaknesses, but the grass is not always greener on the other side. And getting rid of Matt LaFleur might not be as appealing as it seems when you end up with a head coach that doesn't know what he's doing next year. Matt LaFleur's had a successful winning record with the Packers. He's won playoff games with this team. He's won games when Jordan Love has been injured and been out, but people are blaming him. But fans want to call for his job, and it's stupid. It pisses me off. Because we're over here in Buffalo, and all I would like is a coach like that. A coach that comes in and calls plays. Joe Brady's been average, below average this year. So every coach will have their weaknesses. Every coach you can say, I find like when franchises start underperforming, things go south, immediately it's like, well, coach, fire the coach. No, I thought today it was fine. They score a touchdown coming out of the half, and the players couldn't execute. That's not on Matt LaFleur. That's on the players. But at the end of the day, it was a good Broncos team. It was a hard-fought game. And you lose Micah Parsons, and you lose Christian Watson, and you lose a handful of other key players, it's going to be hard to win. And when the playoffs roll around and you don't got some of those guys, it's going to be tough. We didn't realize how important Christian Watson was until he came back. Now I'm skeptical about the offense again. We'll see. Good win for the Broncos, though. That is a wrap. That's well over an hour today. It was awesome. I didn't even get to Lions-Rams. We'll talk about it tomorrow night with my boy Steve on Monday night, including the Sunday Nighter, including the Monday Nighter, and Ravens-Bengals. There's also a lot to talk about there, so I'm pumped up for that. Hopefully you enjoyed the episode. This was a blast. If you did, please go ahead, like, comment, subscribe. It means the world. In the meantime, get yourself some sleep. Enjoy the evening, and I'll catch you soon for the Monday night recap. Peace out.